This walkthrough will demonstrate how to use Camtasia Rev and a pre-configured template project to rapidly build out a multiple trick capture project in the shortest amount of time and with the minimum amount of effort. We will be making a series of short Trek screen captures of this particular software application. Those screen captures will be assembled by Rev onto the timeline of an already open template project, and those screencasts edited as they're entered and then assembled finally into a finished project. As part of the process, the finished project will be processed through Audiate to add a avatar voice and an avatar talking head. Here, we're currently working in an open instance of Camtasia 2026. We're going to load a template project, so it's Alt-F, down arrow, new project from template, enter key. We're going to use this template here, Master Red, and it's already selected, so we'll do new from template. It's a fairly simple template. It has 10 pre-configured placeholders on the timeline. If I select one of the placeholders, take a quick look. The biggest pre-configuration is in cursor effects. And you can see that there are a lot of pre-configured cursor effects. This saves a lot of time when building out the project. Also, under audio, we bumped the gain of all the clips to 250. Those are the major enhancements that we're adding to the project using this template. There's also a branding asset here, which currently is disabled. We won't re-enable this till the very end when we're finishing the project up. And as previously mentioned, we'll be using Camtasia Rev, which is built into Recorder. I've just launched the Recorder. I'm capturing screen, microphone, and it's the full screen. And I have Rev turned on. I'll point out that the only thing I'm going to be using in Rev is its ability to assemble new captures onto the timeline. And each new capture automatically goes on the end of the timeline. I'm doing that in order to facilitate taking new captures and putting them into this preloaded template project. We'll begin the process by getting ready to make our first capture in the application we're going to be screencasting. To do that, we've launched, obviously, already Recorder. Again, it's configured to use Rev. And I'll start the first capture using the shortcut key F9. We're currently looking at the breakfast meal for January the 30th. This was a dry cereal breakfast. We had shredded wheat, bananas, and blueberries with some coffee. This was a very low amount of fat breakfast. 13% of calories came from fat, 705 total calories with 16 grams of protein. And now I'll stop that capture with F10. I'm going to call it 01, and I'll use the enter key to save it. That automatically launches Rev. I'm going to point out before going any further that the only thing I'm using in Rev is the preset for the look, and that's just a full screen. Under layout, again, full size, background, nothing selected. Screen, nothing selected. So that's all I'm using in Rev. By doing this, every new capture will just go into the timeline without modification. So I'll click Edit in Camtasia. And that goes into the already loaded template project. Notice that it went on the end of the timeline. and that's because there was stuff on the timeline. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and drag it over and then basically ripple replace it into the first placeholder. And she goes on. And what's really good, nice about this, again, is that, let me put the playhead at t=0. If I scrub, you can see that all my cursor effects have been added, and you can see that the audio has been nicely boosted. Okay, that one's on, so what I'll do is I'll go back to the application. I'll go to my next scene, which will be the next meal in this guy. Now, currently, Rev is exiting recorder after every one of these captures. This is kind of a waste of time in my opinion, but I'm going to go ahead and relaunch recorder. Again, you can see Rev's enabled. We'll go ahead and make the next capture in this thing. Once again, F9 to start it. This is the lunch meal on the 30th. We had a pork barbecue sandwich, a couple of cookies, fairly low amount of fat at 31%, 704 total calories, 30 grams of protein. And that's it for that. So I'll stop that with F10. I'll call it number 02, enter key. As before, Rev launches, I'll just edit in Camtasia. As before, that clip went to the end of the timeline. Let me say I'm setting the playhead home. And now I can see my clip. I'll select it, drag and drop it, ripple replace into the second placeholder. Now we can go back to my application, go to my next scene, and once again, relaunch recorder. And I'm ready to make my next capture. So we'll do F9 to start. This is the supper meal on the 30th. We had some pasta with pesto. We had some broccoli, vanilla pudding cake, a little ice cream. Nominal amount of fat at 44% of calories, 1324 total calories, and 32 grams of protein. And that's all we need to do with that. So I'm going to go ahead and F10 it to stop it. Call it 03, enter key. Once again, Rev launches, just edit in Camtasia. As before, went to the end of the timeline. I'm going to select, drag and drop into the next placeholder so we can do a ripple replace. And we're ready to do the next one. We'll go back to the app, and we only have 2 more quick captures to make because there'll only be 5 captures in this little example. So I'll relaunch recorder again. I'll start it with F9. We'll open the daily calorie snapshot report. These are the 3 meals we logged today. Among the 3 meals, we picked up 2733 total calories at 32% fat. Logged an exercise for 614 calories. With counting the exercises, that meant that we only netted 2119 total calories. Our BMR for the day is 2171, so that means after looking at the net calories, we were below our BMR by 52 calories for the day. We'll close the snapshot report, and that's the end of that capture, so it's F10. And I'll call this 04, enter key. Once again, Rev launches, edit, grab, ripple replace. And we're ready to do the last capture in this series. We're back in the app. I'll go ahead and launch recorder. Starting with F9. We'll open the nutrition history report. This report currently covers 111 days. We logged all of our meals for 107 of those 111 days. So we've got good data in the report. During that period of time, we averaged on a daily basis 2,358 calories every day at an average percent of fat of 36.3%. We also logged 42 exercises during the period, averaging 586 calories apiece, or over a 111-day period, the exercises offset calories eaten by 222 calories every day. Therefore, our net daily calories during the period was 2137 per day. With the BMR 2171, we ended up being under the BMR by 34 calories every day. Accordingly, the report is estimating that during the 111-day period, so we would have lost just over a pound. We'll go ahead and close the history report. And that concludes the captures for this project, so I'll do an F10 to end that capture, call it 05, enter key. Rev opens up. We'll execute to edit clip 05 in Camtasia. We'll select, drag, do a ripple replace. Now we have all 5 of our captures on the timeline. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and delete these other placeholders. I won't be using them. I'll save this, Control S. After using Rev in a template project to quickly assemble my video itself, I'm going to process all these 5 clips through Audiate in order to get an avatar voice, female, and an avatar talking head to improve the look of the presentation. So with the first clip selected, we'll go to Audio, and we'll click Edit and Audiate. Okay, the first thing I notice is that there's no suggested edits. And I'm looking at this, and what I'm looking for are any instances of these triple dots. Those are like little hesitations in the narration. I'm going to select each one of those other than the first one, and I'm going to delete them. See if there's any more here. That was the only one. Once I've cleaned that up, and by the way, I would normally read through this to make sure that the transcription's okay. I'm not going to waste time for this to do that. I'll just click Audio, Generate Audio. I'll use Brittany and generate it. When that's finished, I'll hit Generate. I'll go for the avatar. I'll use this one, Anya, and generate. When that's finished, I'll go ahead and sync it back to the Camtasia project. I'll call this number 1 for the Audiate project. Hit Save. Sync's finished. We'll go to Camtasia. And there's the avatar clip. It's covering everything else, so I'll select it. I'm going to make it scale 50%. And I'm going to position it at, if I remember right, 620 works. I'm going to select it and ease it up here. That should do it. Go to audio, bump the gain, and I'll use the X key to go to visual properties. And I want to remove, whoops, I got to select it. I want to remove the background. So now I've added in my RD8 processed clip using a female voice and a avatar image. Next, I would navigate to the next one, and I would put exactly the same thing. Off camera, I'm going to do that for the second, third, fourth, and fifth clips in this project. So again, I'm going to do that off camera. I've now completed processing the clips through RD8. All I need to do now is polish off my branding assets. So what I'll do is enable this, select it, Control-Shift-7, then Control-U to ungroup it. This guy goes to the end, so that's Control-X, end, and we'll paste him. And he goes right up to the end of the project. Control-Home. I need to change the date here, so it's select, double tap, double tap, double tap. And this is the 3rd of February, I think. And so we'll get out of that. I need to put a title in here. So I'm just going to select, double tap, double tap. I'm going to call it walkthrough. That's good enough for this purposes. Control-Shift-U, U, Control-Shift-7, Control-S saves it. Now I'm ready to produce the project, and then they export the project itself as a zip for safekeeping. And that concludes the walkthrough for this process.